Far Sector, which is written by N.K. Jemisin and art by Jamal Campbell. And this is a new Green Lantern book, introducing a completely new character, at least as far as I know anyway. I don't know if this character's popped up. Yeah,
completely new.
And it's a murder mystery. It starts off with a crime scene on this other planet that, again, we don't really know the planet.
No. It's just like, technically this is part of Young Animal, but it feels like it's kind of closer to DC continuity than just some of the other Young Animal stuff.
Yeah, that's fair. To the point where I never even really realised. I'm looking at the cover now. Yeah, it does say Young Animal, but...
Yes, I know there has been some rumours that... we've talked about this, hero replacement stuff that's going to go on in the next year or two. There has been some rumours that this character here will be taking over as the Green Lantern in main continuity, to the point where my shop actually limited this to one per customer.
Oh, they're thinking that people are going to want this as the first appearance later.
Yeah.
I could see it.
because what we find out about her origin, it doesn't seem Green Lantern. It seems Green Lantern adjacent.
Well, I think that's how it is right now, but maybe by the end of 12 issues, who knows?
Maybe.
I do like her Green Lantern cloak, though. She makes a cloak for herself out of the light, the energy, so that's kind of cool.
Borderline poncho.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, the whole murder mystery thing is kind of westerny. Like, she's in this city that's never had murders, or not had murders in a long time, so they all don't know what to do. They have no idea how to handle a crime scene. And I like that she doesn't really either, because she's not got a history in this. This is like her first proper job as a Green Lantern. She's like, well, I've seen like murder scenes on TV, so don't touch anything. I know that, at least for a start.
It's a good start.
Yeah.
it somehow felt like this was going on right now, but also in the future. Or in like a parallel.
I think it's just this planet that they're on. Platform? Is that what it was called?
Yeah.
Place? I'm digging it. The vibe.
It also reminded me of Blade Runner.
I can see that.
It's kind of cyberpunky, yeah.
Yeah, like the future. Well, even in the story, right, where she's, and thrown into this mystery, she can't trust too many of these people.
Wait, does that mean in issue 2 we're going to get like a 5-page section where she's just looking at a computer screen going, enhance?
Thankfully, the Green Lantern ring does that all for her.
Enhance.
Yeah. Also, the art, for as good as the story is, you can just stare at the art.
Oh, Jamal Campbell's great. The only thing I've got to say negatively about this art is that he just did Naomi, and I like the colouring in Naomi better, to my eyes.
What I was going to say is interesting is, because I didn't read Naomi, I saw some of the sample pages, but I think the colouring in this is a lot darker, it's a lot more muted, playing up the shadows a lot more, and I love that in context of what this book is. Like, Naomi, from what I gather, was a lot more colourful, and it popped more.
Well, this has that, like, Blade Runner neon, like Pete said, kind of cyberpunky, to where, like, there's a darkness, but that darkness is cut through with neon, and that's what I was getting here.
Yeah, it's just a taste thing. Like, I think it's the mutedness of it. The muted, if it was, I think I like how vibrant Naomi was. So my only complaint, and it's not that it looks bad because this looks great, is that the coloring is just maybe less to my taste than Naomi was. But that's about it. That's the extent of my criticism.
Yeah, and the story, it's very, very dense. I think I might need to read this again to pull in everything. Because they drop you right in with a new Green Lantern, kind of tease her origin, but a whole lot of, I don't want to say back matter.
Well, there's a lot
of background.
Yeah, because we find out that there was 3 planets that warred, and they basically destroyed their planets.
2 of them.
2 of them, yeah. And so they're on the kind of this artificial planet now that's got like because it's like, she points out multiple times that they kind of like have like different, like, because it's like a big screen, right? There's like a big projection essentially on the dome of this planet, and it's like, here's the sky that will make it look like today, but then she mentions later on that one part of each day for like, whatever how long it is, they open it up and they actually get to see the star, the real sun, and the real shot of space, and that's kind of a beautiful magical moment. But so yeah, there's a lot of mythology building that, like, because it started thrown around, like, because one of these life forms is more synthetic, one is a bit more
the AT-ATs, which that's cracked me up.
That was an intentional Star Wars jab, because it was the AT-AT pronounced AT-AT, and because I don't know if Pete's aware of this, there is an ongoing debate to this day on how that is pronounced in Star Wars, whether it is AT-AT or AT-AT.
Right.
So actually, kind of putting that pronunciation there felt like a particular jab.
I'll be honest, I can't look at that on paper.
And not Twitter.
And not that. Well, yeah, on this because it's the @ symbol. But what I mean is the Star Wars thing. Actually, seeing it on paper, I can't look at that and not just see AT&T. So, no mistake for me.
That's a new one.
I just every time I look at it, I just say AT&T or AT&T.
Yeah. So what I'm getting from these different aliens that all cohabitate here, you have one that's almost Kaluan in that they're synthetic life forms, right? They're kind of machine-like. Then you have one that are all kind of biological, but also kind of fish-like at the same time. And then ones that are kind of plant-based. But then they break down even more. You have ones that are like pure logic, one that's no emotion, and one that has emotion.
Yeah, and they all have really long, weird names. You know, for example, the page I'm on right now, the sort of the more royal-looking guy, he's Marth of the Sea by the Wavering Dark until the sun falls. That's his name.
What I really liked about that though is because his name has 3 sections, but we got introduced to someone of his his species earlier, and it was only 2 sections. So. And it does go on to say the extra bit of name does specify just how important he is. But I thought it was interesting that you get that even before they tell you because there's more. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the victim, let's talk about murder mystery a little bit. Just come on this page, so it's a good time for it. The victim was Sven.
Stephen.
It's missing an extra E.
Yeah, but
Steven.
Sure. Steven. Of the Glacier by the Wavering Dark. He's a male, age 132. Education, drone administrator by profession. Blah 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 blah. So 132. So these people live a long time. That's the first thing we're learning there.
Well, and keep in mind too, there's another planet. So if they keep a year like we do, that's just one revolution around the sun.
Yeah, it could be a shorter sort of cycle. Yeah, that's true.
Possibly. I think for all logical purposes, we can assume that it's a year as we know it. Like generally these things do convert to that.
Right.
But who knows? I could be wrong.
Yeah. So you can always just read it as the ring's translating for her and us. Right. So it's in Earth. It's in Earth years, just so we can understand it. I can definitely see that. So so she's all about trying to prevent the next one. And we get this is where it starts like, hey, I should probably explain some of the backstory, and we get the backstory of how these planets fell and how they're kind of all, because they're really tense this entire meeting, because most of the issue is in this kind of like meeting room, and all 3 aliens are they're constantly disagreeing, they're ready to fight, tensions are high.
There's prejudice amongst them. Like this is supposed to be their council, but one of them slips up and says something. I think it's the Green Lantern, or someone standing by the Green Lantern.
Yeah, it's the synthetic one goes to call them like meat bags or something.
Yeah.
So you get the sense that there's this uneasy alliance amongst them, and that maybe this peace isn't as peaceful as we think it is.
Yeah. Sorry, meat salads.
Meat salad. Yeah.
Meat salads. So no, really nice. So so when you get the little hint of her origin. When she gets the ring, we see the speech people say, "I'll give you 1 year, and a ring to make your will reality, like any Green Lantern, but also unlike." So someone gave her this ring in like a box. Right. This was not, so and so you have been chosen.
No, and when she goes to pick up the ring, it kind of molds, kind of like goes like a liquidy sort of effect.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's Green Lantern, but Green Lantern adjacent, because I'm pretty well versed in the Green Lantern mythos. I've never seen anything like this.
No, this is new. I don't think this is a legit Green Lantern ring. I think that's maybe what will be interesting by the end of the story. Does she earn an actual ring?
Yeah.
It kind of feels in some ways similar to Jessica Cruz in that, okay, this was a ring from Earth 3 originally, and it's things like that.
Or even Kyle Rayner, who was hand selected by Ganthet, right, to prove himself because Hal had gone off, so he gave him a specialized ring. But yeah, I'm not complaining. It also felt very reminiscent to Teen Lantern in Young Justice, where
sure, I get that.
We found hers is kind of Green Lantern, but not really. too. It's based off of that energy. So
I mean, I like the character well enough so far.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm into this. Like I am. It was a little dense, so I had to read it in parts. But at the same time, I really enjoyed it. I love I'm not into the hardcore sci-fi like Pete is, but this did it for me.
I mean, she's already more likable than Guy, so I mean that's straight off the bat where we are.
Speak for yourself.
No, I kind of love this. Honestly, my biggest complaint is the ending. I think it should have ended 2 pages earlier.
Okay.
It's just 2 pages of extra fluff at the end that I think kind of just takes away from the pacing at the end. This might be a thing where the author has done a bunch of very well regarded novels, but I think this is her first comic work. So it could be just the change in format, and maybe it is the only thing that feels weird because of it.
Yeah, but she's going to see a suspect who's been held in jail, right? That's how we end the issue. But there's a ruckus on the way in, and when they actually get to the cell, the body's been blown apart. Someone has killed him.
Yeah, it looks ripped apart, maybe from the inside.
Yeah, it could be a suicide. I mean, it's a sci-fi planet or an alien world. I don't know what methods of suicide they've got. This could be a suicide thing, but
yeah, or they were suicided.
Well, here's the thing: that a big part of why this guy's a suspect is because he ate part of the victim, right?
Yes.
Or at least that's what they think has happened. And it looks like something's come out from inside with the way the quote unquote rib cage kind of seems to be sprawled out from it there. Right. So I wonder if what they think he ate, because they say he was kind of in a food coma essentially. Was it the victim, or was it something else, or did the victim have something that has done this?
It's hard not to see some other influences here. It's hard not to think a little bit of Alien because the chest is like burst open.
Yeah, definitely.
So there's definitely some other sci-fi influences coming in here. So I kind of agree with Matt. I think it was a little bit dense. It did feel long to read, even though it was a standard issue book. But I did like what I was reading. I'm into the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was dense. It was a lot of stuff in there, but I didn't feel like it hurt. The pace to read it flowed quite naturally, even if it took longer.
I would say I would probably
it felt a little stilted at times.
Yeah, I would probably have trimmed down the stuff around the table, the meeting room. I think that stuff went on a bit too long in the middle, but.
Fair enough. Personally, that was some of my favorite stuff, and I felt it was kind of broken up into sections in that, because you had the first section with the introduction bit. And then once they get into the victim and the lighting changes, and you have kind of the personal rivalries, and then you actually have the backstory does break up the rest of it as well. The backstory of the planet and what's going on here. So it felt like it was kind of broken up into sections for me. So I didn't feel like individually it went on too long.
No, I did feel the middle dragged a little bit, but I typically liked what it was doing. I really like the start and the end, and what the general idea of this is.
But see, I also don't know if I'm just happy to be reading a Green Lantern book again.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I say that mostly as a joke because I did enjoy this. But yeah, no, it was really, really good.
Yeah.
I was really hesitant because I was like, young animals not really my thing. So to know that this had that brand on it, but I think that's just, as of right now, it was just a kind of like the Wonder Comics.
Yeah.
It's just part of something. It doesn't necessarily mean
that it's not continuity. Who knows?
Right.
I think the ending, I think that page where you turn and it's just the exploded body, I think that's a better ending than just because then there's a page of them reacting and some sort of shadow kind of flying across the room, and her leaping into to try and stop it. Mm-hmm. I think that those last 2 pages just feel a little bit unnecessary. I think the big reveal of the body as that was our suspect, I think would have been a better, tighter ending. But other than that, I kind of loved it.
All right. What we giving it then, Matt? What are you rating it?
I'm gonna give this an 8.5.
Carl?
Yeah, I'm giving it 8.5 as well.
I give it an 8. I liked it quite a bit. Just pacing a little bit in the middle, just a bit more of a slog there, but hopefully that's something that evens out as the story goes. But I think we're all down to read issue 2 next month. So
definitely.